All right, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of The Mind Rewind. I am your boy, Joel, joined as always, or as sometimes, usually, I think, most of the time, all the time, by Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
I think I'm here most of the time. Yeah,
I
like
think so.
physically for sure.
At least, looking back at all the episodes we've done so far, you've been there for at least all of them.
I don't know. I feel like I was having an out of body experience when we were heating up shitty cafeteria food. So maybe I wasn't really there for that. But
well, you got to get out of your body so you can put other stuff in it. That's what you're doing.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I was making room by removing part of my soul. That's how that works.
Classic Ryan, making room.
Classic. Yeah. Always just looking for new ways to be innovative. That's how I roll. You know how it is.
Ryan, this week is a first.
There's a first for a couple reasons.
It's a first for a couple reasons. The main one, this is our first episode where I'm recording without shoes on because I'm back in the comfort of my home, so I don't need to be wearing footwear. So this is fantastic.
Nobody ever said we had to wear shoes in the studio. No one ever said that. That was not a rule.
Yeah, but it just kind of felt like we needed to. But more importantly, Ryan, this is our first guest episode. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from the Genre Geeks. You know him from being out here in LA with us and eating a bunch of pickles. You know him from, if you followed our other show, almost a year ago, coming up in a few days, Barbenheimer with us. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ. AJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. And actually, what's funny, I did remember that this was coming up on the 1-year anniversary of our trip to LA. In honor of that, for Prime Day, I bought Oppenheimer in 4K.
Hell yeah.
So I made a promise to myself I'd only get it on the Steelbook. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be with the boys. I got to get it now. So I pulled the trigger on the regular old 4K like a peasant. What's going on, my guys?
Love that. Have you guys seen those posts about people? Some guy put 4 or 5 items in his cart before Prime Day. And then when Prime Day started, it was actually more expensive because they jacked up the prices and then slashed them to make it look like they were given a deal. But he totally caught them in the act. But AJ, how have you been, my guy? I mean, again, you're the first guest, so welcome. We're stoked to have you. But we also just haven't really gotten to talk to you in a while outside of the podcast universe. So how have you been?
Been real good. I'm pretty sure I might have been your last guest on your previous show, and here I am, the first guest on this new one. It's kind of full circle, little Hakuna Matata there.
We love that.
Yeah,
that was so long ago. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. So I'm like, I'll take the. No one's gonna look it up. It's fine. I've been doing well. Yeah, our show, Genre Geeks, is doing well. We are trying our best to get back to recording on a regular schedule, but yeah, it's nice to be with the boys again. I'm a big fan. I love you guys personally, so I'm very happy with anything you guys put out product-wise. So thank you for having me.
Sweet. I mean, your background's looking better than ever. You got any new toys back there that we haven't seen yet in the past, whatever it's been, 8 months?
Oh God, probably.
It's gotta be something.
Damn it. So I will put a video out this week. My son, air quotes, got a toy. The quotes around
son.
Toy,
wait, hold on. Which part is the air quote? Yeah, the toy or the son?
Wow, boy, a lot has changed.
Any excuse to have this toy. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen this Godzilla remote control. Car is not the right word. Godzilla, but he's remote control and he can walk and do a roar thing, which is fine. But the thing that's hype is you can press a button, and so help me, after the break, if we do a little ad break, I'll run and grab it. This thing blows an atomic breath out of his mouth with water, and I gotta tell you, it's my toy, not my son's.
Yeah, now I understand the quotes a little bit better there.
Yeah.
AJ,
you just gotta fix where you put the air quotes on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, or what?
Yeah.
Or don't.
You decide.
Yeah, we don't know.
I mean, he's your son at the end of the day.
Son.
Is he?
However you. Oh yeah. Well, get in the comments.
Yeah, drop a comment. AJ's son. AJ's son or not?
Yeah.
AJ, you are the father. Hashtag AJ, you are the father, or hashtag AJ, you are not the father.
This little weirdo loves Godzilla, so I can't deny the kid.
I wonder where he got that from.
Yeah. Right.
So
then forcing something on your kid.
Do you think it was from his father who was willing to miss the birth of his daughter to go see Godzilla in the theater? Do you think it was because of that?
Possibly. Who
might have something to do with that.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Hey, you know what? Timing worked out perfectly. So it's like water under the bridge. I have to ask. So you speed ran picking up Oppenheimer. That is not going to deter you from getting the 4K at some point.
Oh no, dude! I can't
the 4K
tell you,
Steelbook. Yeah.
The journey of trying to get this stupid Steelbook, where my desire for it is just enough where it's frustrating, because either I could make it happen by paying whatever the scalpers want to pay on eBay. But it's not there yet, so now I'm just wanting to get it the fair, regular way, which is just not going to happen because the bots and all this stuff. I was on Walmart. I ordered 3 different orders of the Steelbook from Walmart.com at 3 different Walmarts within a 50-mile radius. Checked out, paid for it. They were all refunded within the day.
Wow.
Because they're like, sorry, and ended up being out of stock.
Would you have driven 50 miles to go pick this up?
That's what I was about to ask, yeah.
I actually, honestly, yeah.
Wow.
If I could get my hands
champion
on
of physical
it,
media, an absolute champion.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
Money where my mouth is.
I love that for you. Where's the Barbie Steelbook at? Do you have that one yet?
Not yet. Same situation. I want to get it at a fair, regular person price. I'm not paying the scalpers amount.
Sounds more like sexism.
Drive 50 miles.
Yeah.
If it was directed by a guy, I would have absolutely picked it up.
Yeah.
But
Whoa. Wow.
I think that's the same thing the Academy said.
yeah, that's right.
Tough scenes to start the show off. Yikes.
Nothing like making Ryan cringe in his seat
Yeah.
of like, oh,
It's
let's
tough.
not say it.
Ryan's like,
It's
oh, I
something.
thought
It's
we were
a-
done talking about movies. Ah.
It's a jokey joke. Yeah, it's comedy.
We'll,
I love Barbie.
We'll blur Ryan's face out during that 30 seconds.
Just do the deep throat voice for me. Like this entire point. Yeah.
Ryan, or I mean AJ. Going back really quick to Godzilla, I actually was thinking about you back in like March because I went to Japan, and we went to a place there called Don Quixote, which I don't know if you guys ever heard of this.
Sounds very Japanese.
It's like the story, yeah.
Right. You think, right? It's like, oh, this is not Japanese at all. But it is like an 8-story like store. And they've got all kinds of stuff. There's like a whole section that's like 18 plus behind curtains where you have to, you can walk in and everything's behind like locked boxes. And
What did you or your dad get out of there?
I'll tell you after the break.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
But
you
no,
guys share it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But there
Oh,
was
Jesus.
literally an entire section, AJ, of one of the floors. It wasn't an entire floor, which it could have been, but there's an entire section of one of the floors that was just Godzilla everything. And I mean like everything from different
Pool
kinds of
floaties.
apparel to, toys to movies to, puzzles, games, little trinkets and whatnot.
Dog costumes.
Honestly, they probably did have dog costumes.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
Yeah,
if
Godzilla's
I-
pretty big over there, despite him hating it.
Yeah,
You know,
for
he-
real.
They watch the movies, they'd be like, "This guy can't get enough of destroying us," but they're like, "Well, we love
But
him."
we love him. Yeah, no, it was a pretty awesome store. I really wanted to go over to my goodness, why can't I'm blanking on the name of the studio.
Toho.
Yes, they have like a big Godzilla like outside of it, just as like head, I believe.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to go over there. I just didn't get the chance. And I know it's available on Netflix now. I still haven't seen Godzilla -1, and I was very tempted to find a theater in Japan that was maybe
gotta
still
watch it,
showing it to
guy.
go try and go see it. But I did not
Minus
get the
colors
chance.
coming out, I
Yeah.
think, the beginning of August. Which,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, watch it with the regular color. Taking the color away
The
doesn't.
colors are
Yeah.
so good. The color is so vibrant in it. Like
Yeah.
I've heard people say that the minus color was better, and I don't feel that way.
I'm
Like,
inclined to disagree. I pre-ordered. The U.S. is finally getting an import air quote. There's no English dub. It's all subtitled, but there's a 4K in Japan that they're finally importing in the U.S. So I already pre-ordered this freaking thing. $80 for this stupid thing.
Wow.
But it's going to feature the minus color, and I'm just like, why would I want... I'm going to watch it on Netflix because it's air quotes free, but the colors, like Ryan said, they're such a prominent part, especially during the... It's not a spoiler, it's in the trailers. The atomic breath scenes,
Yeah.
the colors are
So good.
extraordinary. The
Yeah.
coloring is extraordinary just as a movie, so
Yeah.
I don't see... Besides the fact the original was in black and white, I don't see the value of it being black and white.
I don't even know what the last film that like did a black and white version, like where it like enhanced it. I think.
Oh, I
maybe
do.
Some people would say Mad Max Fury Road would be like that. I know.
I love the
No,
color,
I would
the
say
colors
Zack
are so
Snyder's
I do.
Justice League.
I was gonna bring that one up. I mean, yeah, I knew that they did it too. I don't know why he did that still, but fine.
I'm
I
still
can't
waiting
think
for
of
the
a lot of
colored
other
version of
Okay.
Mank.
Of Mank.
Mank plus color.
Mank would be Mank in color would be hilarious. All of let's all talk. Let's reminisce during the break about all of our favorite scenes from Mank.
My
Let's all do
favorite
that.
scenes from Mank.
Yeah, let's do
The
it.
black and white one.
Only in the
Ryan-
break though.
I jumped right into asking AJ how he's been because obviously
Sure.
he guest first time on the show. But also you and I, for the folks at home that are keeping track of this, obviously we recorded our last studio episode a couple weeks ago. We re-released a once hidden episode. So you and I have not seen each other in a few weeks.
No, we haven't even really talked that much in the last couple of
yeah,
weeks.
both of us busy boys.
Yeah.
So how are you? How are you doing?
Yeah, you know.
Sweet,
Right,
and
good
that's how you doing with Ryan.
Yeah. But yeah, and I'm doing fine. You know, we're still hanging in out here. There's really not a lot going on out here in LA's parts. Yeah, it's been but I got some stuff happening, so
Good.
that's good.
I do know there's some stuff you got happening. I might force you to plug some of that stuff at the end of the episode here.
I can if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
I mean,
tell me.
I know you're not a guest, but I might have you exit through the gift shop and do a little bit of a plug there.
That's fine as long as I don't have to go first.
You guys have any pressing topics that you want to bring up? Because I know like Emmy nominations came out today. Anything like that you want to talk about? Because I specifically just want to give a huge shout out to the marvelous actress. She's world renowned, finally getting the recognition she deserves. That would be Selena Gomez. So a big shout out to her for being nominated, and all the other nominations for Only Murders in the Building. Great show. Anything that stood out to you guys, or have you gotten the chance to see? Or
you know, everybody always told me that FX has the movies. I feel like FX has the Emmy nominations.
They
now.
do.
Oh, yeah. They do. They own it
write
all.
that down. Thank you,
Write
everybody.
that down.
Thank you.
FX. FX. Write that down.
Yeah. No, it was surprising to see all like a lot of the top animated shows came from there. I know Shogun was the #1 nominated show, and I think The Bear might have been second or third.
The Bear got the most, if I remember correctly, it's most comedy of all time.
And by like 8 more than 30 Rock. Which, you know, people still debate whether that show's even a comedy to begin with. I've been watching the third season. Yeah, third season now. They got like 3 episodes left. It's not like laugh out loud funny, but the character interactions are definitely funny. They find ways to skirt around that because if they went to the drama category, they probably wouldn't even get nominated. Maybe they would. I think the show is good enough.
They'd have a chance to be nominated.
Yeah. But it's just, that I would hope so. It's that good. It deserves it. But in comedy, they can kind of go in there and pretty much run the category for most part. So I get why they do it. And I know it's a discourse every year now when the show is like nominated as a comedy. It goes all the way back to at like the Golden Globes when like, The Martian comedy. It's like, well, he gets lost on Mars.
Yeah.
Like, it's not very funny. He's making potatoes from fertilizer. Like that's not that funny, but I get it. But yeah, FX is the big winner out of these nominations, and kudos to them.
For sure.
AJ, anything stand out to you? You have the chance to look at the nominations?
Not really. I've been like, as I look through these, I watched Only Murders, and I have not watched the new season of The Bear yet. But I mean, I just don't recognize many of these shows. Red, White, and Royal Blue.
That's a movie.
Never even.
Isn't it? I thought that was a movie.
Outstanding television movie. So they're counting that as a nominee. Outstanding game show. I don't really watch game shows. So like I feel like this is the thing I'm like my blind spot pop culture wise. Because I mean Mr. and Mrs. Smith I watched, which that was an outstanding show.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I mean other than that, I'm not familiar with most of this stuff. I will say, I mean, hats off to The Bear. It's a juggernaut for a reason. You guys will be very happy to know that Darren is caught up on The Bear.
Oh.
Which it takes mountains and peer pressure and threats of violence to get that man to watch anything. But he binged The Bear.
Good.
There's probably actual bears watched it before he did.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. That's the tagline for The Bear is Darren. Even Darren watched this.
FX is The Bear. Even Darren watched this.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally get you, AJ. I've only gotten 3 episodes into The Bear. I actually rewatched the third one again because I feel like when I watched it the first time, I was just so involved in other stuff that I actually didn't end up getting to really watch it. But I've barely seen any movies. I'm doing a book club with some friends right now, and I'm like falling immensely behind on the book club. Ryan, we're reading a Imagineering story.
Oh, you're finally reading it?
Yeah, so it's
Nice.
There's like 6 or 7 of us reading it, and I'm already just falling behind and whatnot. But I'm typically not the best reader. As you know, it took me like a year and a half to get through like Disney War.
It's true. I asked you if I could borrow a book from you, and you were like, well, I'm only like 30 pages.
Yeah.
Oh, how long? And then like 6 months later, like, hey, did you ever finish that book? I'm still 30 pages.
No, I'm still 30 pages. I'm 32 pages in now. But when I was younger, I was a much better reader. That's for sure.
Wow, this is an absolute masterclass.
AJ,
right here.
I think that's kind of the perfect time for you to maybe bring up our topic for the week. So why don't you go and tell the folks at home what we're talking about?
Absolutely. I think something ubiquitous with all of us when it comes to nostalgia and stuff is obviously school. You know, it's a place that we are by law forced to attend. Generally, we associate that with kind of feelings of negativity, you know, of the mundane. And I feel like there was very few days that actually were a spark of joy during those times, especially towards like the elementary times. I'm talking, of course, about the day that there was the Scholastic Book Fair.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
This incredible moment, the prime days, I guess you will, of our adolescence. This is something that I feel like we all loved and appreciated. I've never met a single person, even those who aren't readers, who didn't get some kind of enjoyment out of the Scholastic Book Fair. So I have a ton of nostalgia for the Scholastic Book Fair.
I mean, I think right off the bat, you already hit one of the key things, was that you didn't have to be a reader to enjoy the Scholastic Book Fair. There was something for everybody there.
You want a Ferrari poster, my guy?
Yeah.
What do you want? We got you.
Hey, you like breaking open geodes? There's 26 of them over there in the little thing, you know? No, I mean, the Scholastic Book Fair, huge staple of our childhoods.
It's probably like right up there with Field Day in terms of like the best days in elementary school. Like it's neck and neck between the two of them.
The first Scholastic Book Fair was in '81, so Ryan, you got to experience the first few of them.
No, it's not true. Yeah, it's not true.
What was it like before that? Just people just not reading books? How did people purchase books back then?
What was Barnes and Noble around in 1981? Because I wouldn't know how else to find books. You had to like go to. Where would you even go for that? Like your neighbor just had
call
books,
1-800 whatever was on TV.
That's probably it. Yeah, like how we
1-800
CDs.
books.
Yeah.
People be calling Amazon, hey, can I get some books?
Yeah.
No, I mean, Scholastic Book Fair, for me at least, you guys chime in if it was different for you. Elementary school, absolutely. Middle school, yes. But high school, no, right? You didn't have it in high school?
Yeah, they disappeared in high school for me.
Definitely not high school. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to even think of middle school.
This was definitely an elementary school thing for me.
Yeah, 100% elementary. I know we had at least one of them in middle school. Like it maybe have ended my sixth grade year, but
honestly, if you didn't have that elementary school, I probably wasn't going.
Yeah,
just like why even go? What's the point?
I don't get a book fair one day out of this entire year.
Yeah,
I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I don't care if I'm one of the best field day competitors. You need me for the team. You want us to have a chance? You want us to have a chance against the fifth graders? You need me. Yeah. Make this worth my while.
The schools were very excited to purchase more chalk and be able to afford books and light bulbs. So they were all about pushing that Scholastic book.
Yeah, it was also give the teachers a little bit of a reprieve when they sent us over there. Because it's like, I don't remember how long we would get to be there. Maybe it was only like 30 minutes. I don't remember it being very long.
Time was very weird as children.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
We could have been there for days for all I recall.
All right, let's unpack this.
I think about like summer break, for instance. I mean, and this will be interesting because we're all going to elementary school in different parts of the country. But at least for us, I know we were under what's considered an untraditional school year. Our summer break started in like end of May. And then we would go back to school the first week of August. So about 2 months, maybe a little over 2 months. During elementary school, that felt like an eternity. I felt like when I went on summer break, it was years. I hadn't seen my friends in years. You know, there was no phones, no social media. Other than the people that lived close, you didn't see these people until you went back to school, you know? But then as I got older and older and older, it was like, oh, break's already over. We just finished like a week ago, you know? How long were your guys' summer breaks? Because I've never understood how different my school year is, but some people are telling me it's fairly different.
Most schools, most areas of the country, I believe, get out in was it May and go back in August, right? Is that correct?
I think for me it was like it depended on where it fell, but like the first week, say, of June or like the week before in May. But then it started back up like September-ish, August. September.
we were June to September on the East Coast. I remember that. I remember because when I moved to Indiana, they started in August, so I missed an entire month of summer vacation that year.
Bro, that's robbery. You're still owed. We'll figure a way to reprieve that today. You deserve that month off.
Devastating. Like 13-year-old Ryan he didn't know how to respond to that. It's just
like wait a minute, hold on.
I just got done with school. You're telling me I'm going back to school already? it is one of those sore spots in my life. Like, I'll be perfectly honest. It's one of those things, like, if I'm having a bad day and the thoughts just come rushing in, that one pops in. They're like, yeah, what the fuck? Like,
that is a genuine injustice.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, we're touching on it right now. Summer's the most important time as a youth. It is the most important. Maybe not so much anymore as an adult, because what is summer anymore at this point?
Let's be real. As kids, our parents might have lied to us a little bit. Being adults kind of awesome in certain aspects. Because
in a lot of ways, yeah.
Like basically every night is summer vacation for us. We can choose when it ends.
It's true, yeah.
It can carry on until the morning, but we can do whatever we want, like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but, summer break eventually come to an end, go back to school, and like you said, Ryan, this was absolutely something to look forward to. AJ, I'm curious why this specifically stood out to you as something like, yeah, this is what I want to talk about.
I feel like maybe the whole Prime Day thing might have actually triggered it for me, because it's like,
I like
that became like, it was like the blank check day, which is very rare growing up for me, of my parents being like, hey, go buy something. Like, we're forcing you to go buy something. They'll send me to school with, I don't even remember. It could have been a $10 bill or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you have that as a parent. I can imagine getting that, like, oh, it's a book fair. Go buy some books. And then little do they know I'm coming home with, a Spider-Man glove and a freaking, bunch of toys. They didn't know. But it was that time where you got to shop, and it was like, it's like when you go on a road trip nowadays and you hit that gas station before, like right when you're about to leave, and you have like, what is finances? We buy what we want right here. You're encouraged to spend frivolous, or be like completely frivolous with your money. So that's kind of what the book fair was to me. It was just that feeling of whatever caught my eye, whether it be one or two things. It was like, that's the thing I got to take home. And it means so much to me. It ended up meaning so much because I ended up getting a lot of books that right here next to me, to this day, all these years later, I have 2 books that I got from the Scholastic Book Fair as a child. It's beat to crap, but this Ultimate Spider-Man guide that, where's even the copyright date on this thing? I'm very curious when this even came out.
I'm going to go with 2003.
That might be a really
It feels pretty good. Feels like a good guess.
It's 2001.
Wow.
So that's the copyright date, whatever. So who knows? It probably came in 2002. But this book, as a child, I'm like, I love this book. And little did I know that I would carry it on all these laters. My son will probably end up reading this book.
That's...
It means that much.
Great save.
And same kind of thing with the Justice League book, where it's like, it's the thing where it's like, hey, what are you into? Tornadoes? You into horses? Whatever you're into, we got the
if you're into tornadoes, boy, is this a good weekend for you. Let me tell you. You get one every 20 years. You get a good weekend for you.
Do you guys have any specific memories of buying a book or something specific that stands out to you?
Ryan, why don't you go ahead? I got some in the chamber here.
Yeah, there's one. I was going to talk about this later. Like, we'll talk about like some of the different books and products that would show up. But I have one that I've always associated with the Scholastic. I guess 2, really, but one more prominently for me.
You're absolutely about to say.
There's one of the most famous book series to read as a kid is Goosebumps, of course.
Sure.
I don't remember them as prominently in the Scholastic Book Fairs. I just do in like the library or something like that. When it comes to the book fair in particular, my guy Captain Underpants was running that show.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
he was running that thing. That is what I got almost every year. I would get a Captain Underpants book. Did I read it? Nobody's going to check that.
No one read Captain Underpants.
Yeah.
You jump straight to the action scenes, man.
Exactly. Like that is for sure the book series that I think of when it comes to the book fair. Because when I was going to the book fair, I don't think they were having I don't even think like Harry Potter books were book fair prominent. I think those were like too high range, because I don't think the book fair was shelling out for like the highest grossing titles to have for the kids available for this, because I think everything was sold at a discount. I don't know well enough, but I don't think those types of books were there. So like something that's an easy kid read, like Captain Underpants or maybe Goosebumps or something else that you guys might trigger my memory for, is more prominent there. But yeah, Captain Underpants was like the mascot of the Scholastic Book Fair.
Remember the pages with the animation where it was like, place your thumb here and wiggle back and forth really fast.
Yeah,
God,
that
was so good.
Yeah.
In elementary school, we had a class called like daily reading. It was like 20 minutes of silence and you would read, and then there'd be one kid after the book fair that we'd all be reading, and you just hear. And you're like, oh, that kid's cooking right now. He got to the fight scene.
His parents gave him Captain Underpants money. That's crazy.
Do you guys remember it was like Professor Pee Pee Poo Poo Pants or whatever?
Yeah.
They had the page where it was like, what is your new name, whatever, and that was a moment. That was a like, screw the Harry Potter house are you in? What is your Pee Pee Poo Poo name? Surely we can look this up.
I still do that.
Yeah. You just pick a random one every day.
While AJ's looking that up, Ryan, Captain Underpants is absolutely, like you said, mascot of the Scholastic Book Fair. I mean,
I
think it was the only one that had like a standee, like a big cardboard thing where it was like, boom,
I remember the big
Underpants.
standee. Yeah.
There is one other book series though that absolutely
me.
screams out to me: Scholastic Book Fair, and that is the Guinness Book of World Records books.
Oh yeah.
Every single year, that's what I look forward to. Now, did I buy it? No, because I think that book at the time was probably like a $20 book. And the library always bought one anyway that I could just check out.
You're not shooting your whole shot on one book.
Yeah, not one book.
As children, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you're more of a quantity than quality as a kid.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I can get 6 bookmarks, 4 erasers shaped like farm animals, and a pointer finger. That's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm doing, yeah.
Dude, in the same vein of the Guinness one, I remember I used to spend a lot of money, or anytime we went to Walmart for some weird reason, when Walmart sold books, I'd get the Ripley's Believe It or Not books. Those are great ones.
The good thing about those books at the book fair is that you could just thumb through them and learn like a couple of ones, and then like you guys would talk about it the rest of the day at school.
You go back to class with 6 facts.
Yeah, it's like, can you believe that guy ate 400 hard-boiled eggs in like 2 minutes? We should try that. Like it's just stuff like that. Like you just learn fun information just real quickly, and then like you said, sometimes the library would keep it because nobody could afford it.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, well, we'll buy this, I guess.
Yeah.
AJ, you said something earlier that absolutely triggered something in my mind, and I kind of want to look it up and see if I can figure out the brand of it. It might have been Scholastic, but you said if you like tornadoes or horses. Do you guys remember those books that were just called like horses, and then it was just like a bunch of pirates, that's all they were. And I'll try and get
nondescript, nondescript books. Yeah.
Yes, I'll try and get some of these up on the screen right now to kind of give people examples of what I'm talking about. But I just remember those books; they were like black and white. Look, I see it right here, the Complete Book of Horses. And that's it. It was just say horses, and that's all the book was.
We figured it out. I'll be real. I mean, the reason I got this is because it's called Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
What more do you need?
Yeah. I want that one.
I think I used to get a lot of coloring books from the book fair. I think
activity
whether it was
books.
Markers, colored pencils, even maybe like some like word searches books or things like that.
Okay.
I think those were prominent at the book fair because it was like something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were a kid like me who like needed something to do to keep out of trouble, basically. Just having like the colored pencils and coloring in pictures of SpongeBob or whatever it was at the time. Like that was
a little Where's Waldo?
Yeah. That was like, what are those like? What were those books like? The
I Spy?
Like, yes. Yeah, I Spy. I Spy. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember those.
That may or may not come up on the show again. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah.
Great way to make your friends or yourself feel like an idiot when they're like found the seahorse and you're like, me too. Ugh.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I
could also point at it.
Just hit the mecca right here with exactly the books I'm talking about. They were called eyewitness books, and I'm literally looking at 3 of them right here: dog, horse, mammal. That's just the title of the book. That's just
there you go.
Eyewitness books.
Mammal is crazy.
Yeah, you're covering a real wide, real wide category there.
Yeah, mammal is insane.
This one's called Flight. Just all of it.
Anything, yeah.
Hold on.
Planes,
World
anything.
War I. Just some like first graders like, remember the trenches?
There was always that weird kid who I think that's a great thing about the Scholastic Book Fair is it told you or it put you kind of in a box in terms of like what is your thing, your category. There was always that kid who was super into, at least for me, because hindsight, this was an Air Force base. There was the one kid who was like super into like World War II planes or tanks and stuff. There was obviously the horse girl.
Absolutely.
And then the dorks like me who's like, oh, Spider-Man, whatever, person with a superhero with a mask. What were your guys's? I guess we kind of answered that a bit earlier, but like, what was your category you placed? Like they placed you in based on your purchases.
Did they have the? Do you guys remember like the children's books that have like the gold binding?
Why can't I think of the name?
Book.
Little golden book.
Golden
Yeah.
Books,
Right, golden book. Did they have those at the book fair?
I'm sure they did.
Because I used to collect those like they were Pokemon cards back in the day. Like, I had so many of those. Like that was
There's a Taylor Swift one out now.
I saw that.
Little
yeah.
They make them about everything.
They do.
Yeah,
I didn't know they were still doing it.
They're not shy.
And they make those books nowadays called like Who is Blank? And it's
Yeah.
just like a big cartoon head of someone will be like, Who is Barack Obama? And it's just like this big cartoonish Barack Obama. It's like a little kid's book, you know? But I saw one of those the other day at Target of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Texas, those Obama ones stay on the shelf for some reason. They're never, those things can't move here in Texas.
Do you guys remember? This was another one that I would always look for at the book fair. The Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Dude, absolutely.
God,
Yeah.
Just what a like. I don't know. Netflix has kind of tried it, and obviously, video games essentially you're doing
Yeah.
the same thing. But something about like getting to a page and saying, "Do you A, get in the car with Jimmy, or B, go back in the house?" Flip to page 67 if A, flip to
Yeah.
page 92 for B. You know, like there's something so fun about that. And you get to read it again and kind of mix match. You know.
That's kind
As a
of where
kid, that was magic to me.
Well, it's
Oh, yeah.
kind of where like
How
Dungeons
did they
and Dra-
know?
like D&D stuff was like that's kind of like a precursor to that.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
yeah,
kind of what that became is like, yeah, if you do this, this happens. If you do this, that happens. And those books were prominent for that. And yeah, that type of media is so much fun in any form because you just not knowing what's gonna happen or like and feeling like you were the reason that it happened is just so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because a lot of those tend to be like horror, air quote, child horror
Yes.
type. Scary, I guess I'll just call it. But like, what a great meta in hindsight of like, if you got grounded or whatever, like, oh, no more video games. Like, all right, I'll just read a book and think about what I did. And you're playing a video game in a book, basically, of
Yeah.
choosing your adventure. Like, that's surely those exist nowadays. Like they scaled to us in terms of like quality and content. I'm gonna have to get back into those books, see what they've done.
Do you guys ever recall? I know I did this a lot. You AJ, you were asking, kind of like what was your niche, the pocket that you got put in. And for me, it was always something artistic. And specifically, I remember our library had a ton of them. The book fair had a ton of them. But how to draw books, but they were like based around certain topics, right? So it'd be like how to draw horse, how to draw sea animals, right? Like how to draw like Disney characters or whatever. And they would walk you through step by step. Like I loved those books. And when you'd go to the book fair, you can get the book, maybe a little notepad. You always left the book fair with pencils. Like that was just, you had to leave the book fair with pencils. I think it was like a rule.
Surely they gave those things out.
Yeah,
like,
and with the
here
little
you go.
erasers on the end, and like you'd sharpen them, and the casing of the pencil would go falling off. But yeah, I loved getting the how to draw books, and you'd think like I would have learned how to draw. I did not.
I'll
Dude,
take
the
that
energy.
Yeah, I'll take that even one step further. There were tracing books back then.
Oh yeah,
where for the kids like myself who didn't want to have to take the time to draw it from scratch, they had tracing. I remember in particular, it was a Pokemon one that I had. It was like original 150 Pokemon tracing book. It's like, here's
Hell yeah.
all of the random Pokemon that we have, and you can learn by drawing on the lines to trace them. I remember those being like big activity books back then, because that's not a thing that I like ever hear people talk about anymore, is tracing. And that it's very helpful in certain situations, even more so now today probably for us, but nobody really does it. Like nobody really does it anymore. But I remember those being a lot of those activity book things are kind of the bread and butter of that
Totally.
book fair, I feel like.
Speaking of those activity things, there was one thing that I got from the book fair that it was sort of the book. Do you guys remember? I think it was the Scholastic Book Fair. There was if they didn't have the actual like booth, if you will, set up, you'd get handed these like newspaper type things in class that was basically the book fair. And then it was like an order form on the back.
Yes.
That you would check whatever you want.
I wanted to talk about that. It
Parents
was like
would
the old Toys R Us Big Book, basically.
Yeah.
Like
Kind
where
of, yeah.
The
I
entire
wanna say it was
catalog.
Scholastic.
Yeah, it'd be the catalog. Yeah, Scholastic. I remember. I think we would get it in class like the day before. They would give it to us. Be like, hey, the book fair is gonna be tomorrow. Take this. Figure out what you want. That way, your parents know like how much money to give you and stuff like that. Were you guys the checklist group, or did you kind of just wing it?
Nah, always a wing it kind of kid.
Yeah.
I might have had an idea of like there is one specific thing I wanted, and if it wasn't there, then I was like, I'm still leaving with something.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna leave here with something. It's like I would. I feel like I would like circle things because then I knew looking at that I would like bring the booklet back with me into class that day, and I'd have it circled so I would know like what to look for because maybe I would forget. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. But the booklet was great. The booklet was so clutch.
I would circle. I think, like in hindsight, I would for my parents. They'd be like, "What do you want?" And then I would circle the ones I wanted. And then if there was one thing that I knew I wanted, the thing I would circle that thing like 12 times with stars and asterisks by it. And they'd be like, "Okay, we'll get you your freaking Spider-Man book, you little dork." But there was one thing that I remember getting from that. Speaking with the activities, there was a job that I wanted as a kid that I swore I was going to be this thing when I grew up. I was convinced I was going to grow up to be a spy. I needed to be a spy.
Yeah.
Wow,
I was going to be a undercover secret agent with the lasers and all that stuff. There was I didn't realize at the time it was a subscription thing called Spy University, where you got a little fake plastic pen that was also, I don't even know, a laser pointer. Or you got like actually there was one notable thing I remember. There were sticky notes that were edible. Like the paper was
like
the
potato
sugar
paper.
paper thing. And the ink for a pen was also safe. So there was like 3 of us who signed up for it. All that year in class, we would just like write crunchy rice paper, so it was loud. Throw it, and then the second we get caught with it, we just cram it in our throats and chew it up. We ended up subscribing to that for like 6 months, I think, before it either ended or my parents were like, "That's enough of this crap for you." But that was for sure like the thing that I wonder if those things are still around. That I loved, and I was convinced like these things. I was going to be a spy because I signed up for Spy University.
I like it.
Third grade.
Yeah, you still can.
Yeah, why not?
It's not too late.
Just become a spy.
You don't know that I'm not.
I was about to say. I mean, for all we know, you've accomplished your dreams. Like,
it's
we don't know
who can say or not say.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break here, and then we'll be right back. I got a couple more books I want to bring up, and then I have a fun little kind of activity that I kind of want to throw out. That may not make sense, but I think it'll be fun for us to kind of brainstorm on. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back, and AJ used his time wisely and went and got something to show us. AJ, what do you got?
Look, I've got this piece of art, okay? I don't keep up with Toys of the Year, but this thing... I think I'm gonna cut off my light here to really make this shine. You got to really deliver. So I'm holding for the audio listener. This is probably gonna get lost on you. For the visual,
Ryan
listener,
Vamp,
watchers,
describe.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Why don't you? What are the audio descriptions at the movie theaters? Right, where they're like, AJ has rotated the Godzilla 2 inches to the right.
He has.
The Godzilla
it is based on the Godzilla Kong. It is.
There we go.
So it is.
If you're not watching the video, you better be.
So I'm gonna give you a little roar real quick.
Oh yeah. I love that roar.
It's perfect.
Beautiful. Love it. And now for the real showstopper. Here we go.
Yes.
Oh, he's moving.
I don't know if you can.
That is so sick.
I'll give you one more for the sake of light here. There you go.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah,
that is so cool.
There's the money shot.
Wow.
So
spectacular.
Yeah, my 3-year-old son loves this toy, and not a 30-year-old man. Once the child is finally put to sleep, playing with this thing on the kitchen floor like a maniac.
It's funny. Ryan mentioned this actually on a video we did when we went to LA Comic-Con last year, or 2 years ago, I think. And then someone else mentioned this on another podcast the other day. But these days, the market for toys, mostly adults. Like, kids aren't really playing with, like, they play with toys, obviously. But, like, nowadays kids are playing with, phones and laptops and tablets and computer games and whatnot. Who are the people that are going to buy toys? Us. Every single time I go to Target, I got to go down the toy aisle. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with Jada Toys by chance?
Jada Toys.
They do a lot of like vehicles. So like I've shown you before, Ryan. I bought like it's the Jurassic Park entrance gate. It has 2 little like essentially micro machines of one's a Jeep and one's a Ford Explorer. But they have all kinds of like movie scenes with the cars. Like they have the
That's cool.
Fast and the Furious from the first one where they're jumping the track. they
That's
have
dope.
that
That's
in like
awesome.
little tiny little cars, and they're coming out with a 1/16th, I think, or I don't know what size, but a very detailed model of the Jurassic Park Ford Explorer is coming out this December. And it's like
That's cool.
$125 or whatever, and I am absolutely gonna buy that. Like it's 100% gonna be in my house.
Oh, well, I mean, you're 100% accurate with that because we're now at the ages where we can buy the stuff that we want, and nobody can kind of just tell us. No.
It's
Every day is
exactly what
Scholastic
AJ
Book Fair
said.
Day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, it all comes back.
Yeah, we can kind of do whatever we want, whenever we want.
Do you guys have a toy? Because like Scholastic Book Fair had toys too, so we could talk about some of those. I know we talked about the spy one, but just in general, like Joel, is that like is there a toy that you've just been waiting to bite the bullet on to purchase? Like I know that one's not out yet, so is there something that you've just been waiting for?
So are we waiting for in terms of like it come
like
out,
in
or like I'm gonna pull the trigger when I can?
Right, like when you can.
Okay.
Like it's been out and you've been holding off, whether it's for finance purposes, you didn't know where to put it, you couldn't really talk yourself into it. So is there that item?
100%. I think AJ and I might have talked about this before actually. But why can't I think of the toy website right now? Whatever site it is, they make a very screen accurate Jurassic Park Barbasol can. It does the action and everything where when you twist it, it shoots up. They send you the vials empty, but they send you like this powder and they say put X amount of powder and X amount of water and it'll look exactly like it's super screen accurate, but it's like $400.
Yeah.
Oh, Hot Toys. Hot Toys is the website that has it.
Oh, Hot Toys makes great stuff.
Yeah.
Those
And
things are
I know
expensive.
somebody, thankfully, who gets like 40% off at Hot Toys, but even at
Jesus.
40% off, that is still like
it's still a lot.
a $200 can of shaving cream, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's hard to pull the trigger. But if that day ever comes where I'm like, you know what, I got the money to just kind of buy something stupid, that's it for sure.
Yeah. What about you,
That's a
AJ? You
great
got
answer. I do. But the thing is, I tend to buy the toys that I want. Just because it's like
there you go.
I'm that Peter Pan syndrome thing where I'm always just going to be that little kid forever. But there is one, and it's my problem as a I guess completionist. I have a half of a Darth Maul lightsaber. That's like the legit Darth Maul lightsaber.
Oh, you've told us about this, yeah.
Yes. So I got the first half at a like criminally low deal, but it was just half of Darth Maul's lightsaber. I have to get the other half.
Yeah.
So one of these days I have to bite the bullet and spend the actual full-blown Z money to get to the matching half. I know like at the Disney parks you can get one today.
Yeah.
But it's not the exact other mirrored half of the one I have.
Right.
So I got to hunt and pay whatever price is on the market.
Do you know where to get that from?
I think I looked it up randomly. I can get it for probably $200 to $300. It was like $130 when it first came out, but this was back in like 2010.
Okay. Who made this? Who made this one?
This one was Hasbro.
Okay. But it's like really good quality.
It's great. It's full blown Z metal. It reminds me of because I went to Galaxy's Edge, whatever the park part
in
is
Florida.
called.
You went, yeah.
Yeah, and so I held because I thought about it. I'm like, am I just gonna say screw it and just get this one? But as you know, Ryan, there's different blade attachments and crystals and stuff. It's an entirely different beast now, which I may just give up on my current one and just say, oh, I guess I got to buy a whole new set because Darth Maul's my guy.
Yeah. He's one of the most expensive ones too because it's double blade and because the character is so popular. Like that,
Yeah,
I think it's like, I think it's like $600 for the whole thing or something like that.
God dang. Darth Maul.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Yeah, Ryan, what do you got here?
I have gotten is a problem. I've gotten myself back into Lego. Built some,
let's go.
I've built some fun ones. I got the 100-year anniversary Disney camera one for Christmas last year, and I finally built it. I built it like a month or so ago, and I'm looking at it right now, and it's absolutely stunning. I love it. There's one that's always eluded me, just because I just could not pull the trigger on. I think it's like $450. I want the Cinderella Castle one so bad. Like the Disney Castle, I want it so bad. But I think it's like $450, $500. I just can't.
Dude, Lego is
yet.
Just my god, Lego is get you.
I have a plug at Lego.
I know you do.
Yeah, twice a year gets 40% off. I'm waiting for him because I also want that camera. So I'll reach out to him because he said it's usually during summertime. I'll get in touch with him, and maybe that's your in for the castle. Who knows?
Maybe.
And if you need help putting it together, they just came out with a
bro. Talk about a good bros night. You kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Cold ones. You take this half, I take that half. That is the perfect night.
Yeah. Just a couple of dudes building Cinderella's castle.
Hell yeah.
What's better than that? Guys being dudes.
Dude, they just released the Sleeping Beauty mini castle. It came out at the beginning of June, so Sam and I are talking about grabbing that soon. Sam has started to like slowly get into Lego too, which has been like great for me. She bought me some for for my birthday, which a couple years ago she would never have bought me Lego, and now she bought me the Dennis Nedry Jeep, so it comes with the Dilophosaurus and the little Dennis Nedry and everything.
That's awesome.
But
I wanted to ask about the toys because we started getting into it a little bit, but the Scholastic Book Fair in title implies that it's books specifically, but you hinted at it a little bit, Joel, too. Most of us were probably spending our money on things that weren't books. Like I think they used to have, I think you could sometimes get like a Hot Wheel or something like that. I think those were sometimes involved. I know like the pencil erasers were huge back
Pencils,
then.
erasers,
like
absolutely.
Yeah, because
the gel pens, the little mechanical pencil things.
Right, and it's not just like a generic number 2 pencil. They always used to have the pencils that had like printed art on them, or the Spider-Man, Rugrats, Mickey Mouse, whatever it was. And those pencils were just fantastic. Like it almost became like a collecting pencils thing. Like you would see what kid it's like I've got this one, and this was like, oh yeah, I got this one, and this one. And it's really cool. Like it. I do have fond memories of the book fair that don't revolve around books, which is, I think, is nice that they included such a wide variety of items. Posters, and I can't. I'm sure there's some I can't even
Fun
think
Fair,
of.
really.
Yeah, it really, because if we're being honest, at that age, that like 7 to 12 range, maybe where like you're going to the book fair. You're not really a big reader unless you're told you have to read something in most cases. So if you're getting the funds to go to the book fair, maybe you're not getting a book. Like there's I mean, maybe you're getting a book and a bunch of random garbage that you aren't going to do anything with. I definitely want the little green alien men with parachutes. That's what I want. It's like whoever developed those products, like we're doing half of these in local schools across America, and the rest are going to Dave and Buster's. Like that's what we're doing here. Like that's all I ever think about with like the items that you see like that are super cheap at like a Dave and Buster's or those types of like arcade things. Those are the items that I think of when it comes to like loose items at the book fair that weren't book related.
Ryan, you and I. No, go ahead, AJ. Go.
Well, I didn't want to change the topic, but I didn't realize. I looked at when I decided on this subject. I wanted to actually look up into what the Scholastic Book Fair even was in terms of their infrastructure and how it comes about. And I had no idea. So like apparently like the Scholastic Book Fair most of the time was organized by the school because they got a cut. They got a cut of the sales, and so they would reach out to Scholastic, which they were eager to put on this event, and then. From what I understand here, like 70% of the Scholastic Book Fairs were organized by the librarian or something of the school. 30% were by the parent volunteer from the school. But they would come, and then that's how I made that joke earlier because basically the school was wanting to push. They're like, hey, what do you guys kids want? You want gel pens? Yeah. You want those weird little pencils that like the tips you reload like a gun, like you like load into the back. Those are friggin' awesome. Like they were selling whatever they wanted because basically it's just a way to finance the school.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got some kind of undisclosed percentage of the sales went back directly to the school, which is why they were encouraged to continuously do that.
Is this similar to like when you have to sell like wrapping paper?
Yeah.
Like,
100%. Yeah.
Or like the magazine
all
one.
Fundraising.
Like schools always had those random fundraising things where like the kids had to go out and sell it and things like that. This feels like it's a little bit in that vein, but the kids are so young at that time, like you can't really police that very well. So it's nice that the school would do this. Now it makes sense as to why it was only once a year, though.
Well, and also you kind of get a benefit out of it too. Like you said, when you're doing fundraisers like wrapping paper, cookie dough, chocolate.
Cookie dough.
We used to have, we did cookie dough. We did, I think I only did wrapping paper like once, but we did cookie dough. We did the like popcorn bucket thing. And then we had
remember that
one
one.
when I was in elementary school. Our fundraiser was actually kind of weird. You guys remember Sky Mall, like in the airplane?
Yeah, of
It was
course.
almost
yeah.
like Sky Mall, where it was just like this catalog of just random items, like house decor and candles and
Get this
dinnerware
neck
and,
pillow.
like, yeah, just like dumb things like that people could like order through us, and you just needed to make sales, But with those things, you sell them to whatever your neighbors or your family members, and you don't see anything out of it.
Yeah.
But
You
at
like
least
force your grandma to get like 8
grandma,
of them.
you gotta buy things. I need
Hey.
to get this puffle.
Yeah.
But at least with the book fair, your parents are giving you money. You're going, you're buying these books or whatever. You get to have that book or the item, but then portions of that money goes to the school. Like it kind of best case scenario, So you get a little bit out of it as well.
It's to play the cynic part on this. It's really just the school getting more money from the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again,
And
at
it's
least,
okay.
at least
It's
you're
okay.
getting
Like,
something out of it.
You're funding
Chalk's
something.
not cheap, dude.
Yeah. You're funding something that is important. So it's if you're gonna give excess money to anything, the schools are a good place to do
It's
that.
a weird way of making you pay for something that's free.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, because I know when I was I may have just been too old for this, but like when I was in Catholic school, like I don't ever remember the book fair being prominent. So I wonder if like this is more of like
Just the Bible fair.
like a or like a more just more
It's
of
just
like
a secular thing. Yeah.
could have been more
God
of a
didn't
public
provide
school
for them.
thing. Yeah, God wants you to read Colossians. They don't want you to read Captain Underpants.
Captain, wait, Captain Tunic? What is this?
Yeah.
It turns out the Bible book fair or Scholastic Book Fair didn't sell as hot as the I Spy books and stuff at the regular
No,
schools.
I don't think so.
Y'all ever go to what's it called, Hobby Lobby? It's like obviously like a very like Christian store, and there's a whole section with
Is
books.
it?
Oh yeah.
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
know.
there's-
I had
I
no
can't
idea.
tell if this is a bit or no.
No, I had no idea. The first time I ever went to Hobby Lobby was when you sent me there a couple weeks ago to pick up a cord. I'd never been to one.
They're
before.
closed on
To
Sundays,
to
dude.
pick up a cord at Hobby Lobby. You mean
I'm
five?
pretty sure it was a.
No, I said to you Five
Oh,
Below.
you sent me to Five Below. That was my first time
Oh.
there as well. Then I've never been to a Hobby Lobby.
Okay, Hobby Lobby is very Christian. Like
Okay, I
yeah,
had no idea.
Like even when
They're
like
usually sharing walls with like a Mardel's or something.
I applied to work there years ago, and it actually like asked something about like I'm pretty sure it said like what's your favorite Bible verse or something.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's what you just say. You just say Austin 3:16.
yeah.
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 Hell yeah.
They have like a book section, and they have a graphic novel of the Bible.
Dude,
Oh.
don't make me reach back there and grab it. My
Do
dad
you
freaking-
really? There he
Vamp.
goes,
Oh my
there he
god. Oh
goes.
no.
Every time I see this thing on the shelf, I'm like, no way.
Look
Like-
at his sweet pajama pants he has on right now. I just noticed that.
It's called the Action Bible,
yeah,
my guy.
that's exactly the
Wow.
one.
Look at this. Look at these beautiful. You're about to hear the book open. Like it didn't pick up.
You've never
You can
read
hear
it
the cracking of the spine.
That's
Yeah, man.
crazy.
Hell yeah. This is
Oh
what
my
happens when you
God.
have very conservative family members find out you have a hobby. They're like, let me give you the garbage Christian version
Yeah.
of that thing. I'm still not. This is a complete tangent. I got Christian Guitar Hero one year that only
Whoa.
worked on PC, and it sucked.
It's just.
You want to do a guitar riff?
Do you
want to
play Higher by Creed, or do you want to play Higher by Creed?
Wow. I had no idea that was a thing. I would just like to
Oh.
think that it was just like Bible songs that you could play. Like, but it had like
Dude.
real like radio played songs on it.
I don't. In my mind, no. I don't know though, but it reminded me. I'm pretty sure they got those. Like, have you ever been to like Walmart back when they have like the physical PC games? And
Yeah.
you're like, who
Yeah.
buys the people like my parents and grandparents that are like, hey, what's AJ into? What does he want for his birthday? I don't know. He likes video games. Like, oh, here's a Christian rock
Yeah.
band video
Oh
game
my god.
for you. But yeah, hey, this Action Bible it won the Christian Book Award, which I feel like the Bible should win the Christian Book Award
Every
But
year,
What do I,
yeah.
What do I know?
Yeah. I just imagine like just riffing on the guitar, be like, "Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow
Whammy
down."
bar it, just
Yeah.
Let me
It's like,
activate my freaking.
yeah.
That scene from Community where what's his name? Who actually is in who plays Beard in Ted Lasso? Why can't I
Oh,
think
that
of-
guy. Yeah.
what can- whatever his name-
Brendan Hunt.
Yes.
his name?
So he
Yeah.
was actually in a episode Community where they pick him up as a hitchhiker, And he's in the car.
Oh,
And he's
yeah.
like talking about how he loves the Lord. And then he's like, Jesus loves marijuana.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's AJ playing his Christian rock band.
Yeah.
There's two more book series I want to bring up. One I'm going to bring up, and I'll just spoiler alert it now. It is 1,000% going to come up on the show down the road. But before I bring that one up, Ryan.
Yeah.
I guess you too, AJ. But based on our friendship, I don't think this is quite your cup of tea. Ryan,
I'm here.
did you ever read the Mark Christopher books? Do you know what I'm talking about with that?
It sounds
He wrote, or
familiar.
it might be Matt Christopher. I'm sorry.
Is he the author?
Yes.
He's the author of the series?
He wrote.
I probably need the titles.
He wrote. Yeah, it's Matt
for sure.
Christopher. He wrote all those like baseball books, and like they were all just different kind of sports books.
Oh,
I guess here,
dude,
I'll
that
show
just
you.
ripped
I don't
out of the
remember.
recesses of my
Like-
memory. This font is what's getting me.
Sorry,
I don't
I'm, like,
know if I know
ghetto
if I know
trying to do
those.
this. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
It was all kinds of ones. Like I remember I read one of the baseball ones, and it was like this kid who was trying to make his high school baseball team, and he was like an all-star catcher, and everyone loved him, and he was gonna go varsity and all this stuff. But he decided one night to stay out past 10 p.m., which coach told him not to, and he got in
Oh,
trouble.
no.
And it was like this whole thing, and it was all like stories like that, where it was like based around sports, but trying to like teach kids like values
Okay.
and morals and stuff like that. So I definitely remember I would always look for those at the Scholastic Book Fair. But one book series that has not been brought up, which I think is wild, which this is one that
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yes.
Berenstein Bears.
No.
Oh, I thought
No.
I had it.
But
Felt like a good guess.
I'm hoping
My
you
bad.
guys were just as into these.
Is
as
it
I
Bernstein
was.
Bears?
Oh,
Yes,
my
there we
apologies.
go. Yes.
Bernstein
You
Bears.
spelled
My
it
apologies,
incorrectly.
everyone.
You
I
voiced
did.
it
I didn't.
incorrectly.
I didn't spell it at all. Yeah, I didn't do that.
No, I am referring to Magic Treehouse. Did you
I
guys
remember
read
that
Magic
one.
Treehouse?
that one definitely sounds familiar.
So
I've-
Magic
I didn't
Treehouse
read
was
it,
like the
but I
one.
had like a second grade teacher read it to us.
Oh yeah, I was obsessed. And like I said, this will definitely come up on the show again down the road. But Ryan, these were the ones where it was like dolphins at sunset, knights at nighttime, ninjas at dawn, and it was literally a treehouse that this brother and sister would go upstairs. They would open a book, and let's say earlier we were talking about pirates, right? If they start reading a book about pirates, it would transport them like into this world of pirates. I've always said if I could
It's
purchase
like Page Master.
if I could purchase the television or film rights to anything, it would
That's
be
it?
Magic Treehouse. Absolutely.
Okay.
Like I am baffled that it hasn't been turned into something yet. But those two definitely stand out to me. I'm surprised, Ryan, that you weren't familiar with the Matt Christopher being as
You know, I just wasn't a big book guy as a kid.
fair.
I might have had these books, and my parents hoping that because they were sports related, I would read them, and I'd be like, "No, I'm all right."
Ryan said, "Read
gonna
about
watch TV."
basketball. How about I just
Yeah.
play it?"
I'll just go play. Yeah. I'm 11 years old and I'm 6'1". I'm just gonna go play basketball. Yeah, I'm good.
Clearly the body of a reader. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. Do
Speaking
either
of
of you?
book series?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did you guys also there were two book series that I got really into. One was I think it was called the Bailey School Kids or something, but it was like the Giants Don't Go Snowboarding, or it's in that vein. So it's like vampires don't play tennis.
This all is
Those
sounding
also
so
sound familiar too.
They were
Vampires
read
don't wear polka dots. It was I remember. Yes, I did remember.
I
these.
read dozens of those books.
Yes.
Couldn't tell you a single character or a single plot line.
You did nail it. Bailey School Kids. I do remember those. Now, just like with you and the Matt Christopher, as soon as I saw the artwork, I was like, oh, yeah.
There was that one, and then there was another one in the same kind of vein to me, but it was like, I think my art teacher is an alien, or I think my football coach is a
I remember
leprechaun.
this one. Yeah, I remember that one. Wasn't there one where like the teacher was like turning kids into apples or shit like that? Wasn't that?
I don't
That
know.
sounds like a.
I
Like,
spent so much money
German
on these
fairy
books.
It was scary. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
guys
Couldn't
remember
tell you a single
Junie B.
thing.
Jones? Either of you remember?
I
Junie B.
remember. I
Jones?
didn't
She
read
was.
it.
She had
No,
like
I
a
don't know that one.
photographic memory, so she would like solve like cases. It was almost like a Veronica Mars, except like elementary school. And so instead of taking actual photos, she would like blink, and that would like basically save things to her internal memory.
Wow. Could you imagine how easy life would be if you had that?
Ryan would be like watching
Right.
Titanic,
Beautiful.
blink. Okay, watching Wolf of Wall
Never have
Street,
to pay
blink.
for it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good. I got it. I just got it in there forever. Yeah.
Steel trap.
Ryan, do you have any other book series or anything like that you want to bring up before we kind of shuffle towards the end here?
We hit a lot of the good ones. I think Berenstein is definitely one that was featured there. There's a couple other, like I know Clifford I think was big there. Curious
Clifford,
George was floating around back then.
Mascot of Scholastic.
Is he the official mascot? All right, well, because Captain Underpants is
that big dog sells books, man.
Yeah, he's not allowed to showcase himself as much. There was this one series where it was like little hamsters or whatever it was. They like looked like they're like little monsters.
Those were Kia commercials.
No, like they're not actual hamsters. They were very cartoonified. Oh, and I don't remember what they were.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
They had like stringy hair and stuff like
they
that.
Were little,
yeah, I don't.
They were little critters or something. What are they called?
Yeah, I forget what they were called, but like they had a series of books similar.
How
to
do you Google this?
Yeah, I don't.
AJ,
what did you?
AJ,
what was the search?
You
that you put
literally
in the Google thing?
nailed it on the head, AJ. Little critter.
That's what they were called.
Yes.
I was doing a bit because that's like these little weird fake creature things. Yeah.
Sorry, my camera's not going to focus. But
that looks like them, yeah.
Good old nuclear home, mom, dad, brother,
sister.
that's
him. Yeah, that's them. I don't know why I remember those. I remember reading those as a kid. That was like such a doctor's office book series.
Dude, that's literally what I was about to say. That's a waiting room book.
Yeah.
They're like, we got kids books here forever. We'll never replace these ones.
Them and Berenstein were like the two. I always remember like being in the doctor's office. Like, I'm going to read this. Like, that they were prominent. I'm glad we were able to figure that out because it was crawling at me. I couldn't
insane
figure out what
that AJ
called.
whipped little critter just
it was
right
incredible.
out of thin air.
Yeah, it's incredible. Honestly, just
It's
great job all around. For me to remember it, him to give you the name, and you to look it up. Just
teamwork,
wonderful effort out of us. I'm sure there's way more that we're forgetting. Like, I don't know if like Nancy Drew was like prominent at the book fair. This was something I touched on a little bit, and we'll touch on it like briefly here. They were not bringing in the big time booksellers. It felt like they were bringing in things that they could purchase in bulk.
Yes, they kind of had an agenda.
Yeah, there was an agenda behind the Scholastic Book Fair. Like, I'm curious what would probably be there now. Like, AJ, you've got a young son. He's not too far away from this age where he'd be in school and maybe they'd have a book fair. Like, what type of things are we thinking they'd have in the book fair at this point?
So what's funny, like, we go to the bookstore regularly because I like books, and my son buys a little golden book because they nailed it. It's like $6 for some of these golden books. Where I'm like, perfect price. It's like a tax every time I go.
It's the perfect price where you can't say no.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a book, so I get that thing of like, I'm encouraging him to read. It's $6. I just won't go to McDonald's this week. But every single trip, we're leaving with a little golden book.
Yeah.
A big bookseller right now is Bluey. They have little books of the episodes, like novelization, if you will, of Bluey. And then they still got the bangers. You know what I'm talking about? We still got Very Hungry Caterpillars in the mix. All right. Those guys they're here to stay. And I've bought probably 3 copies of that book. Dr. Seuss, he's still here to stay.
We forgot about Dr. Seuss.
We completely skipped that.
Wow. That's a big miss.
They started making fake Dr. Seuss books, which I call them fake. Like, they're not written air quotes by Dr. Seuss, where we got one for my son where my wife is a scientist. So there was like lava flows volcano, whatever it's called, like a volcano book. And I'm like, cool. And I'm reading it. I'm like, this doesn't have the
cadence.
whimsical cadence of Dr. Seuss. And then I looked like in the fine print, it's like written by, I don't know, Todd. I'm like, get out of here.
Todd,
how dare you put Dr. Seuss on this book?
Come on,
disgusting.
Todd. Real bad.
But yeah,
job.
Dr. Seuss is obviously that's a big banger.
That's a big one. Yeah, that might have been too highbrow for the book fair. Maybe I don't even know.
Probably the fake Dr. Seuss ones. are popping up.
Could I get green eggs and ham at the book fair? I don't know. Like,
did you guys do green eggs and ham during Dr. Seuss week?
Yes.
Yeah, and how heartbroken were you where the ham was just ham?
Yeah.
For me, they didn't even color the ham.
Nope.
Yeah. In the book, the ham is green, right?
Yeah. Color the ham with food coloring. How hard is that?
Yeah. I actually, how hard is that?
It's not. It's probably a health thing.
Yeah. Like, how hard is that actually to do?
They just put like a tomatillo salsa on it. The kids are like,
Just put a salsa verde on it. I mean, how hard is that?
Yeah, there you go. Your country
My whole
breakfast
kindergarten
ham.
class was broken. We were like, some poor parent volunteered to come in and make like 20 kids worth of eggs and ham.
Yeah.
And we all revolted. We're like, why is the ham like pink, ham
Yeah.
colored?
You start throwing it. Yeah.
And they're just like, I'm sorry, we colored the eggs and thought that was good enough. I'm like, did you read the book? First of all, it wasn't a slice of ham. It was a whole.
It was a whole thing.
Like,
each one of us gets this whole thing
ham.
with that nice slice, like tilting off. You can see the
Yeah.
bone in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was nice. One last series I thought of. I don't know the name of this series, but you guys, I'm assuming, are familiar with the book If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a
Bro,
whole
did you-
series of those that people
Yes!
don't believe
If
me
you
about.
give a moose
Yeah.
a
Moose
cupcake,
a
I think
muffin.
a moose a muffin. Yeah.
If you give a pig a pancake was my
Take a
favorite.
pancake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was my favorite. But people, I have brought those books up to people that they're like, no, it was just the mouse one. I was like, no, you are very wrong. Like there are several. I went to this was years ago. I went to like the Barnes and Noble. They have like a children's section. I was like, I wondered if I could just find this book and like send a picture of it to people so they know that it's like a legitimate thing. There's like 8 or 10 of these different ones with different animals and different items. Like it was the
That
mouse
dude's
got
feeding his great grandkids with that book.
The
man.
mouse got a second book with a different item. I was like, we're running the mouse back? Okay. It's like, all right. But I remember those too. God, so many faint memories of these.
My son is really into, and I guess that was around kind of when we were kids, but it was in my blind spot of don't let the pigeon blank. So don't let the pigeon drive the bus. Don't let the pigeon stay up late. It's a whole universe of these pigeon books where it's just a little crudely drawn. Actually, I looked it up because it's me. Did you remember that show Sheep in the Big City? Probably Ryan.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That
On Cartoon
guy
Network,
had
yeah.
a whole book series called The Pigeon Does Something.
Really?
And
I had no
it's
idea.
the same art style, but it's a pigeon. And it's like,
that show was fine.
It
show was
lasts.
fine.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
it existed.
It came out at the perfect time for me to be able to remember it. But I couldn't tell you
And
anything
that's
that
about
happened in the show. Yeah.
Me either. I remember the military was after him for some reason, and that's it.
Yeah, something like that.
So real quick before we kind of round things out, I have a little, I guess for lack of a better term, game. This is just more a fun little thought experiment. So AJ, you kind of mentioned at the beginning that one of the things about the Scholastic Book Fair is the fact that you weren't really buying books anywhere else. You know what I mean? It was here and that was it. Okay. So us all being the age that we are now, what do you think would be the most fun thing to purchase in a Scholastic Book Fair style setting, right? So you do not get this thing any other time of the year, but there is one day a year where you get to go to a book fair, essentially, of said item and buy it for the year then. What do you guys think?
I love this question.
I can go first if you guys want for like an example.
I'm trying to think of a better answer than the one that popped into my head.
I'm sure I can come up with a few different things. But like, for instance, alcohol, you know, one day a year you get to walk in and here's this year's new beer releases and this year's new whiskeys and the latest edition of this and that. And it's like, I'm going to get this and that and this and that and this and boop, I'm done for the year.
The one that I thought of would pair very nicely with yours. I thought of like an Italian meats and cheeses.
Oh,
basically,
hell yeah, right.
Charcuterie board book fair, basically. That'd be you go
The
in and like,
Scholastic
you bring
Charcuterie
it,
Fair.
you bring it, you circle the different ones on your pamphlet and check mark them, and then you put it on like a wood board basically, and you walk away.
It just
with
sounds
it.
like KBBQ.
Yeah, I mean it sounds really good. Like it's charcuterie board for that would be really fun.
My mind goes to, for some reason, like sauces, like exotic sauces.
Oh, I
That'd
love
be-
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd
that's
get,
good.
you know, maybe not ketchup, but yeah, like, oh, this weird little Japanese barbecue sauce, and I'm like,
I feel
'cause I
like,
feel like- yeah.
I feel like we just came up with like the best party, like the three of us, all of our ideas, like
Meats,
just-
sauces, and drinks.
Yeah, we don't need anything else.
yeah, I think we're just hungry and
Yeah,
thirsty, and we're like fantasizing
exactly
about
what it
like
is.
what if it was,
That was pretty
what if
good.
buying sauce was special?
Yeah.
It's a special.
What if buying sauce is special?
They'd write that book. Yeah,
Wait, it sounds like we just invented going to Buc-ee's, honestly.
that sounds like it. Yeah,
You're not wrong.
yeah. We invented a grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all right,
Geniuses.
cool.
That
Yeah,
you get to go to once a year.
yeah.
And you have to ask your parents for money.
Yeah, Mom, I gotta buy mortadella. Like I need some assistance here.
Well, AJ, I think that was a great topic for our first ever guest episode. Honestly, so thankful to have you here as our first guest. Like you mentioned, you were probably our last guest on our previous show, and I'm sure you're going to be a guest again multiple times on this show. So again, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you tell the folks what you've been working on or any shout outs you want to give?
First off, thank you guys for having me. Always a pleasure. You know, you guys are great. I'm a fan of your work, and so anytime I get to play with you guys, I'm always down to clown. You can check us out at Genre Geeks. We are on most of the social medias under Genre Geeks. We are planning on getting a lot more video content out. A video I just put out that I should probably just put on YouTube because it's too long. I was recently sent some decks from a company called Universes, which is a trading card game company. They contacted me. They're like, "You're weird and like Godzilla." I'm like, "Yes, sir." And they're like, "Here's some Godzilla decks that we're trying to promote, and so do whatever you want with it." So I did a little video unboxing this deck. That's on our Instagram and our TikTok, and I need to just put it on our YouTube. But those places, we're going to be putting. Next month in August, Heath and I are going to be going to an event called Kaiju Go, which is a kaiju-based event where we are going to be doing a double feature presentation movie thing, and we're going to be doing some videos and content about that. But yeah, that's basically what we're working on. Hopefully more video content in the future, and yeah, you can check us out there.
Sick. I mean, I gotta tell you, dude, the what'd you call it, the Versus game that you just posted the decks about?
The Universes.
I'd never heard of that, and you posted it the other day, and I was like, that seems kind of sick. Like, I might need to look into that. I've started getting back into like I've got a couple buddies that have Pokemon pages where they rip packs. I've started opening baseball cards more and more here and there, so I'm kind of getting that thrill of the chase back. So who knows? I might be following you right there. I'm already considering getting into Lorcana. Just FYI.
I've resisted Lorcana every chance, and it's been difficult every time.
That is waiting to steal money from me. Yeah.
Ryan, really quick. I told you at the beginning I was going to make you do this. Why don't you plug what you got going on?
If you go check me and my sketch comedy group over at Matt Black Originals. We've got a new web series coming out here starting in August. It's called Forever a Clone. You could go back and check out our previous one that came out a couple of months ago. Tiny House, very very fun. You can check it out on YouTube. We got all the episodes on there. These episodes will be on YouTube, and we'll be releasing clips on Instagram and TikTok, all the stuff like that. We got a lot of other fun projects in the wind coming soon here from over there. And I just really enjoy making this web series. I think everybody's gonna really dig it once they release it this coming month.
Hell yeah! Well, you folks know where to find us at Mind Rewind Pod on all the socials. I want to thank AJ.
Oh, before you wrap, I didn't want to ruin your sign off here, but to get out of here, would you guys like to hear your Captain Underpants PP name?
Yeah,
oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it uses your first letter of your first name, first letter of your last name, and last letter of your last name. I have been, ladies and gentlemen, Stinky Toad Brains. Joel, you are Mr. Poopsie Bubble Heine.
Oh, that's
that
just
works,
true.
Yeah.
And Ryan, of course, you are Mr. Loopy Burger Buns.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Well,
it's beautiful.
That is the perfect way to end this episode. AJ, I want to thank you again for joining me. And for the folks at home, thank you all so much for rewinding with us. We will catch you all next time.